Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Alex with US Benefits. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking. Actually, this call is about your life insurance plan that is designed to cover up to 100% of your funeral and burial expenses. So just for a qualifying purpose, may I know how old are you?
67.
At this age, are you smoke or are you non-smoke?
Non-smoker.
So I believe you don't have any major and chronic disease like cancer, Alzheimer, or dementia, right?
Right, nothing like that.
Got it. And are you in the state of California, right?
Yes.
So what is your zip code?
90813.
And who will be going to your beneficiary, like your son, your spouse, your daughter?
My daughter can do it.
How do you pronounce your first and last name?
Lindsay Gardner.
Got it. You have a beautiful and unique name. And can you please confirm your date of birth?
November 3rd, 1956.
What about your weight and height? How tall are you?
I'd say I'm around 5'6".
Got it. And what about your weight?
135 pounds.
Got it. So I have a senior supervisor. He will tell you further rates and information about that. So stay online. And how is the weather in California?
Beautiful. Nice, sunny, warm.
All right. So Lindsay, do you have any kind of major chronic disease like dementia, high blood pressure, or cancer?
No.
You don't, which means you're in a good shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Ms. Gardner, can you please just confirm me, do you already have a life insurance policy at the moment or not?
No.
You don't. All right. I got you. And your daughter is going to be your beneficiary. So Ms. Lindsay, can you please just confirm me how much money would you like to be left for your daughter? Like 5,000, 10,000, or 15,000?
Actually, I was looking more towards 20,000 if that's available.
20,000. All righty. I got you, ma'am. So, would you like to be buried or would you like to be cremation?
Buried.
Buried. Proper burial. I got you. By any chance, do you reside in any kind of nursing home or any assisted living facility?
No.
No. Alrighty. I got you. And Ms. Lindsay, I believe you don't have any kind of chronic disease like dementia, high blood pressure, or cancer?
Right, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. All right. And also, Ms. Lindsay, actually, many companies are offering some more discounts to those people who have active checking or savings account open. So I believe you do have active checking or savings account open, right?
Yes.
Alrighty, I got you. So I have one of our local licensed agents from your state. You're residing in the state of California, right?
Yes.
So I have one of our specialists from your state. So without wasting your time, I'm going to dispatch you with our licensed agent so she can further providing you the best rates and options that you're going to be qualifying for, all right? Thank you so much, ma'am. Just bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go ahead and dispatch you with our licensed agent. Let me just see who is available for you so I can dispatch you with it. And here we go. And how's the weather today in California?
Beautiful. Nice and sunny.
Hello, this is Andre. Hi, sir. I have with me Miss Lindsay Gardner. She is from the state of California and with the zip code 90813. She is 67 years old. She's a non-smoker. Her date of birth is November the 3rd, 1956. She would like to see the options for the 20,000 coverage plan for her daughter about the proper burial. She is a non-smoker. Her weight is about 145 pounds and height is about 5'6". She's on the line. You can just take over the call. You both have a blessed day from my side. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Ms. Gardner. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so honored to be helping you today. I'm speaking with you from far north Dallas. I understand that you're in California. What part of California are you in?
Southern California, so like south of LA. But I was born in Texas. I just moved here very, very, very young.
Oh, yeah. What part of Texas were you born in?
I was born in Houston, but we moved here when I was like 2. But I still have some like cousins that are in the Dallas area. I think they're like in like Plano or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I live 2 towns north of Plano in a town called Prosper, and then my wife was born about an hour and a half due east of Houston in a place called Port Neches. So
Yeah.
I won't hold it against you that you left us for California, but I will serve you today. How about that?
Sure.
Okay, so we need some life insurance, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, what has you in the market? Did you have some previously and you lost it, or are you looking to add to some existing coverage, or?
I was just kind of had the thought that, I don't want to saddle, my kids with the cost of my burial. I mean, they can afford it, obviously, and I'm sure they get the money back once my estate went through the estate process. But, why make them go through that and then, hopefully scour something later? They should just be able to have that money immediately.
Right.
And insurance policy is one way to get that. So,
That's right. Yeah, it's like my mom said. Similar, when my mom passes, I'm going to be the person that takes care of everything. And she told me that she wanted to get a life insurance policy, and I said, "Ma, you don't have to do that. Like, we have it covered." And she said, "It's not a matter of if you can or not; it's a matter of whether I want you to or not, because we have kids and whatnot." So I understand that. Okay, so I'm just to give you some understanding of the process. I'm a state licensed medical underwriter. I underwrite for only A-rated carriers, from Aflac to Mutual of Omaha, AIG, all the big guys.
right.
But I don't work for them. I work for you, Mrs. Gardner. I'm effectively a broker. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then based on the information that you give me, I'm going to be able to determine which plan makes the most sense for you. We'll run some quotes. You'll choose a quote that's within your budget. I certainly don't want to. I'm not here to spend all your money. I'm just here to get you covered and make sure it's within your budget. Once you identify the one that you want to move forward with, my job is to help you get qualified directly with the carrier. Really important for you to know, you and I don't actually do any business together, Mrs. Gardner. You'll be doing business directly with the carrier. They'll send the policy. They withdraw the payments. You get direct access to them. You'll never pay me or my company a dime. But even though you never pay us anything, you'll always have access to myself and my team in the event that you or your daughter ever need anything changed on the policy, you have any questions or anything like that, okay? Let's start off with, okay, I've got you as a non-smoker, 67 years young. Do you have any medical history? Anything major like cancer, diabetes, strokes, anything like that?
No, thankfully.
Oh, praise God. Any medical history at all?
I mean, you have, the occasional cold. I got COVID once. You'll have your occasional infections,
Okay.
but I mean, not like any, and no hospitalizations, no like high blood pressure or anything, that would raise eyebrows with an insurance company, for example.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, you're going to make this easy on me then. As I'm looking at the options here, that I'd be willing to get that you could get up to $40,000 to $50,000 in coverage based on your youth and your lack of medical history. But I'm looking at $20,000, and it looks like the best rate that we're going to see is from Mutual of Omaha. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you a little bit about the plan itself. It is whole life, so it's permanent. So you're never going to have to worry about the policy expiring. You're going to expire before the policy does. Okay. Also, being that it's whole life, it gains in cash value, and you can do a couple things with that cash value as it accumulates. You can loan yourself money from it if you need to, or let's say in 15 years you win the lottery, you don't need the policy anymore. You can actually cancel the policy and take the cash that's out of there. Okay. Also, accidents are included with this policy, and I would never put you in anything that has increasing premiums or increasing death or decreasing death benefits. So your premiums will be fixed forever, and your death benefit will never change on you. Any questions about any of that?
For accidents, is it that it pays more for an accident, or just you're covered in the case of an accident?
So the way that the quote is right now, it would cover accidents for the amount of the death benefit. But once we got into the application, I could run it to double the accidental potentially if we can get you qualified. And usually that adds like $6 or $7 to the rate. So it's not a dramatic increase. But for $20,000 in natural with $20,000 in accidental right now, Mutual of Omaha is at $83.68 per month. And my guess, and I can get you an actual number once we get into the application. My guess is, if you were to double that accidental to $40,000, is probably going to be between $90 to $92 per month. Okay, yeah. So next, if that works for your budget, then what we would do is my job is to collect the information that Mutual of Omaha requires for the application. This is identical to if you were to go on the website and fill out the application online. I'm just collecting all the same information.
Makes it
so if you're good with it, I can start the process of collecting that information for the application to see if we can get you qualified.
Just want to ask. So obviously you're a broker, so you don't work for any of which is great because then I don't have to individually go to the different company websites. You can look it up for me. But then technically, who do you work for?
Yeah. So my company is Godspeed Financial, and I'm actually the owner of the company. We're based out of Prosper, Texas is the name of our town, but we help primarily people going into their senior years and seniors with everything from final expense insurance to Medicare, retirement preservation. We have a lot of people getting out of the 401ks and getting into our annuities. So we have agents that help beautiful people just like you every single day with these different plans. But you're right, we are a broker, so we're completely agnostic as it relates to which carrier you go with. But Mutual of Omaha, because most of these final expense policies are pretty similar. There's very little difference in them. But I'll give you an example. Mutual of Omaha was 8368. Aflac was 8857. Liberty Bankers is 9084. Aetna is 9590. But there's no real difference between the plans. So going with Mutual of Omaha at 8368 probably just makes the most sense.
Who did I talk to before I talked to you?
So that's a call center. So what they'll do is, evidently you filled out some information about life insurance at some point. So what they do is they call people that have filled out that information, and I'm just one of the companies that they transfer phone calls to. So I work with them only in the way that they need people to help the customers that say that they're interested in learning more. And my company is just one of the companies that they work with to teach them more. Now, what I can do right now, if you'd like, is I could text you over my digital business card. So you can actually see who you're doing business with. Would you prefer that?
Yeah, and I found the company website. At this point, Andre drops off. You can tell that the penultimate scammer was still listening to the call because you could hear when Andre dropped, and then the call itself dropped 10 seconds later. I'm not really sure what happened here. It's definitely possible that Andre had phone issues, but I think what's more likely is that the scammers were not happy with my questioning about their call center, so they cut him off. Or what's even more likely than that is that they did not want me to have Andre's contact information, so they cut him off while he was offering to send me his business card. And indeed, he did not send me his information via text message like he promised he would. Regardless of the reason that he dropped off, Andre called me back immediately.
Sorry about that. Did I lose you?
So I think I know what happened.
What happened?
So I'm a journalist. I study, I investigate scam and spam calls, and this was one of them. I got called by someone my number's on the do not call list. I got called by some random person in India. They took me through the process, and then they transferred me to you. And so I'm assuming they were still listening because you can tell when they drop off. Oftentimes when I go through these calls, the person in India or Pakistan, because they have a foreign accent, they're wherever they are, you can tell they're still listening in because they haven't dropped off. So I'm assuming when that line of questioning started, they're like, oh, I don't want them to find out. And then they cut it. I've had that happen to me multiple times where it's totally fine because there's no reason you'd hang up on me, right? And I didn't hang up on you. So
which line of questioning?
Well, when I started asking about, because, I asked who I spoke to and you're like, well, yeah, if you fill that information, I was about to be like, well, actually, no, I didn't. My number's on the do not call list. I get these calls. I was about to walk you through that. I'm sure they don't want you to know that because I'm sure they told you that everything's above board, that they respect the do not call list, all these things. I've had that happen so many times where it's a totally fine call. And as soon as I start asking, so who are these people? The call drops. And I don't get why, because you already have my number. You're just gonna call me back, So why cut the call? Who cares?
Yeah.
The cat's already out of the bag,
Yeah, and I pay for these calls, so you better believe I'm calling you back. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I don't know how to advise you from there, but it makes sense to me now.
And I'm sure the marketing company tells you everything's above board. Oh yeah, it's only people who expressed interest. They filled out a form. And everything's, and then, you get it and they'll have really thick accents.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. So I don't have any information from you. I just own the company. I'm one of the companies that they send calls to. So this is one of the ways that we build our business. You know what I mean?
I guess it's better than 99% of life insurance agents I deal with. But just sorry is not good enough, especially for the owner of the company. He should be outraged this is happening. He should commit to not using these marketing companies anymore. But all you can muster is, sorry, that's the way it goes, Let's jump into the investigation. We haven't had an in-depth investigation in a while, have we? So what do we know? His name is Andre. He said he's calling from far north Dallas. I don't know if that means north of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or the actual neighborhood of far north Dallas, but we will keep that in mind. He said he lives in Prosper, Texas. The company name is Godspeed Financial. He is the owner, and he lives in Prosper, Texas. The only thing we can really go on is the name Godspeed Financial. So when we look that up, there's a couple promising results. There's this job posting. It's a remote position apparently, and you're selling life insurance. What caught my eyes, there's a compensation range from $2,000 to $30,000 a month. That's $360K a year. Sure, buddy. Whatever you say. There's also this Facebook page. They're a financial services company. They have an address in Salina, Texas, so not Prosper. This phone number here it leads to Ethics Insurance Group, which appears to be a broker. I don't know if that's like the broker they're using, or maybe that used to be their phone number and some other company bought it. You can see in the email and in this latest post from 2023 the website of thisisgodspeed.com. In fact, that was the first result when you Google Godspeed Financial, but it's under GDSPD and not Godspeed Financial. So this is their homepage, and in the middle of the page is a quote. Whether you're a client who's looking for a team they can depend on, or you're an agent looking for a place to call home, GDSPD is a family who cares about you and your needs. We don't simply believe we're doing business with you. We believe we are doing life with you. Like life in prison. And you can see this quote is by Andre P. Vanden Broeck? I'm going to go with Broeck. And so this might be the Andre we were dealing with. If you go to the leadership section, it says that Oscar Andrews is the founder and Zoe Mitchell is the co-founder. And a little further down, it says Finco is trusted by 6+ million users in 175+ countries. So I was really confused. Like, is Godspeed Financial just a subsidiary of some massive insurance company or something? They said they're independent. It took me a long time and a lot of digging, but I think I figured out what's going on here. I think Finco is just the name of the template that he purchased for his website. You can see that the elements here are very similar to what's actually on his own website. I'm not going to pay $25 to find out, but I'm assuming that this is just standard on the template he purchased, and he just never bothered to go in and edit the leadership section or remove that blurb. If we look at the contact us section, they have a physical location in Prosper, Texas, which is what he told me, so we're on the right track. This 469 number is what was on the caller ID when Andre called me back, so we know we have the right company. I was going to do a general business search with the Texas Secretary of State, but it looks like they charge $1 to do a search for a business. I don't really know why. I've never seen that with any other state, but it's something they do. I mean, $1 is not a lot of money, which again begs the question, why is it not just free? Either way, I'm not going to pay for that. Thankfully, there's also the Texas Comptroller of the Currency, which I guess is like for taxes. So you file with the Secretary of State to be able to do business, and then you file with this entity to pay taxes on your business, I guess. All that matters is that this search is free. Now, if you search for Godspeed Financial, there are no results. However, if you look under GDSPD, we get a hit for GDSPD Holdings Incorporated. Here's their taxpayer number. There's the mailing address, which is the location in Prosper, Texas. They are active to do business in Texas, and they were formulated in Texas. We have their SOS registration status, which is active. They were registered on the 15th of November, 2022. There's their SOS file number. So I'm getting all this SOS information without having to pay $1. Go me. The registered agent is Andre P. Vanderbroek, and there's that Salina, Texas address that we saw on the Facebook page. We also get this handy list of key people. So the president and director is Andre Vanderbroek, and then the executive and director is Crystal Vanderbroek, presumably his wife. Just in case you're curious, both of these individuals are licensed life insurance agents in the state of Texas. However, Andre is not licensed to sell insurance for the state of California. Crystal is, so presumably when he was trying to sell me a policy, he was just going to use her login or like her account to process the policy. I don't know if that's necessarily legal or within the rules of the insurance company. It's certainly not the first time we've seen that happen, but it's weird, yeah, that he would try to sell me a policy in California when he's not licensed to sell policies in California. Awesome. I did also check maybe he spelt his name all in one word because he sometimes writes it like this, but no, he's just not listed at all in California. He is not licensed to sell insurance to residents of California, but he attempted to do that with me. Here's his LinkedIn profile, and he says that he's looking to hire and coach professionals who are driven and have a heart to serve people. 20,000 per month, one, and multiple six figures year one possible in our hyper niche market. What I love most, and he said this in the job posting as well, is how he calls it a hyper niche market, as if there aren't hundreds of thousands of life insurance agents in the United States right now. In terms of experience, he is the founder and chairman of GDSP Holdings Incorporated since May 2020. I don't know how that's possible considering that the business was registered with the SOS in November 2022, but sure thing, man, whatever you say. Apparently, before this, he was the founder of a company that does commercial pressure washing. Interesting. Here's his Facebook page. Apparently, he's an entrepreneur. This kind of reminds me of like multi-level marketing when like someone starts selling Amway or Herbalife or those wraps or whatever they got going on. And then they're entrepreneurs. They're starting their own business. They're a boss babe. They're a hustler just because they got into an MLM. It feels a lot like this. Again, he's the founder and chairman of GDSP Holdings. He lives in Prosper, Texas, as he mentioned. Oh, there's Crystal. Apparently, he has recently hired 2 people and he's looking to hire more people in 2025. You're a good candidate if you are coachable and able to follow a blueprint. He says in another post that he wants people who have no industry experience whatsoever. And it's hard to know what to make of that. On one hand, it's kind of admirable because everyone has to get a start somewhere, right? So if you don't need experience, that's great. But also, why would he explicitly want people who don't know what they're doing and have no experience in this industry? It's a little strange. And you're also a good candidate if you want to earn north of $250,000 a year net, representing the biggest insurance carriers in the world remotely.
Sure, Jan.
Additionally, you have to have funds available or accessible to start and grow your business. And this is the weirdest one because presumably Godspeed Financial is the company. So if he's hiring me to work for him, I'm getting paid a salary to sell insurance on his behalf. Why would I need money? Unless this is more like an MLM where he's hiring me to work under him as his downline. And so therefore I need my own money to get my own setup and have my own computer, and get my own leads and stuff like that under his mentorship, which makes a lot more sense. And so in that instance, I'm basically starting my own life insurance company under him, under his leadership. But then wouldn't I then be competing against him? Because he's also, it just makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. But I swear there's just such serious MLM vibes here. He also, you know how MLM Huns always make all those posts about self-worth and gratitude and appreciation and stuff like that? This guy does the same thing. So he posts all these black and white pictures of himself because he loves himself that goddamn much. And then it's, being an entrepreneur is so hard. We pay a foreign call center to bring us our leads, and then we don't give a shit when it turns out they're violating do not call list. But, sometimes you just have to breathe, and they didn't believe in you. No one thought anything about you, but then you overcame the adversity and you changed the world, and it's just the cringiest fucking shit I've ever seen. This is so weird. And oh if it were me, I personally wouldn't post this on a public page. But this is Texas. So we got to assume that anyone who willingly, voluntarily interacts with this individual probably follows his same political leaning. But at least we know where he stands. Let's hope those egg prices work out for you, buddy. The same day that this call happened, I sent an email to the generic corporate email address at Godspeed Financial. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can pause and read it, but essentially I just summarize what happened with the call, include a call recording, tell them that even though someone else made the call, they can still be held liable for the call, and ask them very nicely to name and shame their marketing company. Because after all, as I mentioned in the email, they're paying for bullshit leads and they're being opened up to liability by this company. So this company is the one whose name should be dragged through the mud. Unfortunately, Godspeed Financial did not respond to this email. All they had to do was just send a generic reply condemning the practice of illegal robocalls and promising to stop using that marketing company. Even if they're totally lying, I would never know. The least they could do is save face and send a response like this one that was generated by ChatGPT in 5 seconds. The least they could do. But no, he couldn't do this by email. He couldn't do this on the phone. It was just, well, I don't know. It happens. These companies, part of starting a business, these calls just come through. I'm not the only company that happens to, and I don't know anything. I'm the owner, but I don't actually know anything. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. What a fucking useless, pathetic sack of shit. Fuck you, Andre. Anyway, Godspeed Financial, welcome to the list. I gotta say, that's a lot of independent agents and brokers and companies for a hyper niche market. If all these people are clearing 250 grand a year, I certainly picked the wrong career.